Your event is starting. Hi, I'm Pox.
I'm Ponju.
You're watching the Two Smart Guys show live.
And today we're overclocking. So break out your rubber gloves, scientific stuff going on here.
Fire extinguisher.
Break out the eggs. Be frying some eggs on some processors here.
We had to go a little old school for the output. That's why there's a tripod and camera behind me. But we've got our epic build here.
Right, and this is the Sabertooth 97Z, or 97X, right?
So a doctor here, he went ahead and installed Windows 7 just to kind of play around with the machine.
So we can get some benchmarks and see what we got to play with here. So this is a pretty huge BIOS menu this thing has.
Yeah, so what is it? It's got an AI tweaker.
Yep.
Is that their kind of overclock utility that's built in?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like the internal BIOS overclocking. They do have a regular one for like Windows 7 that you can install on the computer, and it'll go and flash to the BIOS. And it's really easy. It's got auto
So
mode.
a little bit of overclocking 101. Why would you want to overclock a computer? Well, when you buy a processor, you usually buy it based on the speed of the gigahertz and how fast it can go. So if you buy a processor that can be overclocked, then you can go beyond, theoretically, what its defaults are.
For overclocking, I like Intel better than AMD.
So you're able to get, like, in theory, with good, like, another gigahertz almost?
Yeah, with the Haswell.
With the Haswell?
Yeah, I haven't had very much luck on overclocking other processors as high as the Haswell goes.
So you're looking at maybe like a 30% speed increase or more?
Yeah, at least. Usually on a good one, you can almost double your speed sometimes. Like with liquid cooled. But you can get your processor too cold. That is
we're in the studio with no air conditioning and it's like 100 degrees outside. So our overclocking tests right now may not be ideal.
Or accurate. And we got a little box fan if you watched the little build we did. So our good water cooled heat sink hasn't come in yet. So we're gonna see what we can get out of this. Now this has got a really cool feature for people that aren't very overclocking, know what they're doing pretty much. It's got an easy tuning wizard for both RAID and, so you can enable your RAID and it'll tell you how many hard drives you have. I guess we could do that since there ain't, oh wait, no, I got Windows 7 on there, never mind. But yeah, you want to do that before you put your operating system on, obviously. So here it tells you pretty much what your stock speeds and everything are from the factory. And you hit next. And then it's going to ask you, what are you going to use the computer for? Daily computing, gaming, media editing. And then it asks you what kind of cooling you're using. And this is pretty much what determines the clock speed they're going to set for you, like automatically. So this one, we tried all three of them. And this one came out to be 43 is what the multiplier gave us for a box fan, which is about 30% increase.
That's not bad.
And this one is 46. And then this one was 4650.
Huh.
It doesn't seem like the water cooling, but I have heard of people hitting 48 on the Haswell i7 4770.
On the multiplier?
Yeah.
And the other thing you got to remember on the way that I've always been told, I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate, but when they make the chips, they're on a wafer, and then they test them, and they take the best of the best, and they make those their highest end ones. And the ones that aren't so great, they might put them on a chip and mark them down so they can't go as fast because they won't be as stable. So it's kind of a gamble when you get a chip. Some of them overclock like awesome, some of them don't, and it works the other way too. Sometimes you can get like if you can get like an i5 or something. Sometimes you can overclock it up to what the i7 should have been, or you know, or the lower i7. If the motherboard, do the motherboards even let you do that anymore, or do you have to get unlocked ones?
Most, I don't even think Intel locks theirs anymore.
Well, the top end one's unlocked by
Yeah,
Intel.
the Extreme, right?
Yeah,
And
but the other ones, they're not unlocked by Intel.
yeah, not so much. I haven't really got to play with the locked ones. I've never really even bought a locked
I remember back in the
processor.
old days, I had like what was it? Their cheap processor back then. It was a Celeron.
Yeah.
It was a Celeron 300A, and it literally was like a Pentium 3 at the time. It was all you had to do was take a lead pencil and draw between two solder points, and it would unlock it, and then you could overclock it from like 300 megahertz to 600 megahertz, and you could use it in a dual processor configuration. So like people were like doing 3D rendering, buying them up like crazy because they were like a $100 processor that ran as good as a $600 processor.
Like when the PlayStation 2 first came out, they had a really easily hacked processor. I remember a lot of people were buying up PS2s when they first came out to steal the processors.
Really?
Yeah, when I lived in Utah, they were all sold out for like 6 months.
Huh.
Like, but we had that totally awesome computers guy that was down there, and he was building straight up, starting his own computer company from the ground up.
Weird. I don't know what you do with a power, or what was that one? It was PowerPC based, but it was was the Cell processor, or
it was like
the
same thing in the G3. It had like the white MacBook type processor in it. The PowerBooks.
Anyways, back to our overclocking.
All right, so yeah, the easy install. So we're gonna try box cooler because that's what we have, and we're gonna see how good it is. So it says, and it tells you exactly how much performance can be expected from this, and we have awesome RAM cards in this thing. So it's being upclocked from the standard 1333 memory timing to 2440, I think, or is it 2480? Can't remember. But anyways, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to do this? If this becomes unstable, return to the BIOS.
Yeah,
and
so basically Windows won't load if it's beyond.
Yeah, with this one's more than likely you'll probably end up with a blue screen if you've overclocked it too high. And that's most motherboards will put you at the blue screen. This one didn't boot right last time.
Little things came together and then it stopped. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, was that good or bad?
That might be bad. Yeah, that was bad. So, yeah, I think the error might not be, because that's pretty much the lowest easy clocking one. Yeah, sometimes if we can get an unstable one, we'll know a little bit better where we're at. That was close.
It's pretty cool these days. It's
blue screen. So this is what happens when you try to overclock your computers too much.
It's pretty safe though, relatively speaking. It used to be like you could literally fry your processor.
It depends on the motherboard you have. Some motherboards, like if you have an overclocking motherboard, they have a protection against frying your processor. And like Intel offers a overclocking warranty. So if you got to pay extra for it though when you buy your processor. But yeah, if you fry your processor, they'll send you a new one. Overclocking it.
Really?
Yeah, but you have to buy it from Intel.
Huh.
So yeah, we're running like 10 degrees hotter than we usually run on this. Than it does at the shop anyways. So, yep, it reset everything back to factory.
So what can we get away with?
I'm gonna say
Do you think it's the CPU or the memory that's not able to go that high?
well, the memory's just going to stock, see? Where's it? Yeah, it's just hitting the stock. This is right now, it's at 1333. Oh, it should be on here. Yeah, see.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's barely hitting its max. It's like maybe overclocking it by 8. 0.8. So it's not much either. Okay, so if we sync the cores, I think we could get away with this one if we turn our 2 last cores down.
Yeah, if you do it per core, just turn up your first one really high.
And then we do this one as 40. Let's try a 40, it'd probably be. This has got to be stable.
So I remember the big deal with the speed step was that if you're like only doing processes that use one core, it would overclock itself a little bit. And if you're using something that use multiple cores, it would go back down and make it more level.
Another thing to remember is when you. Oh, I changed my RAM settings. So it's going to turn my RAM settings down to 1330, but that's all right.
Is there a particular forum that you go to check out overclocking and what other people are getting from different motherboards and CPU and memory and stuff?
Yep, Frozen PC is the one I used to use a lot.
I personally kind of stopped overclocking stuff just because I wanted it to be as stable as possible.
Yeah, it's kind of. I started switching towards Hackintoshes about that time. I got bored with overclocking.
It used to be a big difference. You could take a processor and double it, but lately everything kind of mellowed out around the 4 gigahertz range. And you might be able to get another gigahertz out of it, but it's tough.
Oh,
hey,
nice.
we got it running.
Nice. So let's see how stable it is now. Stupid numbers a lot. Fire. Okay, so if this doesn't lock up a computer, so which one should we do? Should we do Skydiver? Eh? I like
Sure.
Skydiver.
I haven't seen any of this version of 3D Mark yet. I remember the last one I think I was running had dragons. And
if you buy this
Castle.
one, it's got like a 4K mark, so you can benchmark at 4K.
Huh. This looks pretty cool though.
Time to go rock climbing.
Hey, did you get any footage on the GoPro yet?
Yeah, I did. I did get a little bit. It's got a little battery. That's all I have to say about the GoPros. I think I might have to take the screen off the back.
Yeah, might have to get a new battery for it too.
Seemed like it only lasted about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But that's with that back LCD on it.
Yeah, that's about right. Whee! Think it'd be the case to take off the LCD.
What's that?
There's a different case
Oh,
or back for the case
yeah.
without the LCD.
Yeah, you gave it to me. I just need to put it on the crush proof
Oh, that's
case.
definitely a girl skydiver.
Right? Hey, at least we're using the Asus one. I think it's got one from MSI, one from Asus, one from EVGA, and
Look at the physics there. Even the backside.
doesn't look like it's in very high definition, does it?
No, it looks like it's a full 1080p, isn't it?
Well, I know that's what we're running at.
I can see a little bit of the frame rate dropping every once in a while, but it's not much.
Yeah, after this one, it'll actually go through the tests, and it'll give you the individual frame rates for each scene that's supposed to be pretty hard on some things. It's actually pretty stable.
It does. It looks really good.
And we still went up we're at 43 on the top end,
Huh.
right?
Yeah, I think so. Just going to a temple or something?
Yeah, and our base score was 25-25, so.
Oh, that's cool. Lights up and everything. How long is this benchmark?
I haven't used this one yet.
I always like these because they always show off the newest shaders and techniques that people are using. She has a face? No?
Just gonna run and jump upside down.
That's interesting.
Now it's gonna run through the actual.
The graphics test?
Yeah, it's gonna do the frame rate and.
So does it do it again?
Yeah, it just does scenes of it though.
Huh.
170 frames per second.
Wow, the monitor can't display that. It's displaying that blackness really good.
Yeah. I think.
Is it supposed to show anything?
Well, it usually does, but I think it's going. The frame rate's too high. Cause yeah, it just finished that entire scene. And it was fast forwarding through it too. So this one might not have an actual. The last one I watched had showed you in the frame rate, and it went. It's kind of slow, yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
At 150 frames per second.
Oh, it's a different scene. Dang. That is a lot of frames.
Got all the multiple bugs. Isn't even touching the video card right now.
Look at all the particles. Different light sources.
189 frames per second. Do you see that?
Wow. What graphics card is this again?
The 780 GTX.
780, huh?
Had say 500 CUDA cores less than the Titan was all, for half the price of the Titan.
Huh.
It likes that 170 mark for the frames per second.
It's pretty solid. It only drops to about 100 there with all the
The overclocking for the
GPU.
yeah, the GPU was the GPU
Ooh,
was
it dropped below
overclocked.
60 now.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see it now. It's hitting under 30. You can kind of see the. How many tests are there?
I think this is the last one. This is the combined test where it uses the processor and the GPU intensively.
Oh, cool. Everything's falling.
Well, at least it's stable.
Yeah. It didn't crash yet. Well, there was that one test that was all black, which was kind of a little bit odd.
See our score now. Okay, so I think these are from our previous test, right?
That's an example.
Oh, no.
More than a score. Upgrade now.
Where's our score
Do
at?
you have to run the view run details or?
View results online.
It's not
Oh.
online.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so it's not going to let us do that, huh?
Dang it! It doesn't give us a score at all.
Nope, it's the offline. Needs to be purchased to get the offline, I guess. That sucks. So overclock the
Anyways.
video card.
Yeah. So, anyways, this is our quick little rundown on overclocking, where Ponzi's kind of perfecting the Hackintosh build. So.
Yeah, we can show them how to build the USB stick real quick and load it with the multi-beast.
Well, we'll go ahead and end this episode here.
All right.
So please stay tuned next week for our Hackintosh. And if you want to join us live, we're going to have another show pretty quick here on getting everything's prepped for the Hackintosh build. We'll just go ahead and stream it anyway. So see you guys next week.
Yep. Thanks. Like, subscribe.
Yes. Bye.
Follow us on Twitter.